That is the sweet sounds of the Shootouts. Their new album, Stampede, is on the way, and we're talking to head honcho Ryan Humbert about working with Ray Benson and Marty Stewart, playing at Graceland, their Ohio roots, and how to prepare for a debut at the Grand Ol Opry.
I don't need anyone bringing me down.
You know, I don't think there is a way to prepare. This weekend we were in Memphis for the Ameripolitan Awards, and we were talking to a lot of friends down there, and a few folks that recently made their Opry debut. And we said, you know, do you have any advice for us? And they said, it's just as terrifying as you think it's going to be.
Yeah, there you go.
We said, well, that's not really helpful. That doesn't help, actually.
Now, I can't help. You distracted me with your T-shirt. You have a House of Guitars T-shirt on. I worked there for many years and made all their TV commercials.
Really? Oh, listen, I love those guys. Between the band, we've bought 3 instruments from these guys over the last year, and well, we love it. I bought a beautiful Gibson Hummingbird that was one of only 5 made from them.
Right.
I also bought a beautiful Gibson J200 Rosewood studio guitar, and our bass player got his new Fender P bass from there too. We love that store so much.
Yeah, I've got a stack of House of Guitars T-shirts in my drawer that I'm struggling to still fit into. But it was back. I worked there back in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, that's so cool. That's a great story.
One step forward and it's 2 steps back. Look out below, 'cause I'm falling fast. From the top of the heap to the last in the pack. It's just 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
Where did the seed of this album spring from? How did it happen? Because I know you got Ray Benson working with you on it and all that. Did he make it happen, or did you guys come to him, or what's the?
Yeah, I have to tell you, this whole thing just kind of fell together. You know, we had just released our Bullseye record in April of 21. We were not expecting to go back into the studio as soon as we did. A mutual friend by the name of Greg Harris, said, I'd like to introduce you to Ray Benson. I think he would like what you guys are doing. And sent Ray the Bullseye record, and Ray liked it and called him and said, well, I like it. What do they need? And I've got to give Greg credit, because he said, why don't you produce a record for them? And we were off and running. And this was literally only about a month after Bullseye came out.
Right.
And,
you weren't really probably thinking about the next record at that point.
No, not at all. I was still in the middle of doing stuff like this, and
right.
Promoting Bullseye. So then we found ourselves in September of 21 back in the studio. And again, there was all these things that just kind of fell into place. We had originally talked with Ray and Sam, who co-produced the record. That's Sam Seifert, Ray's son, about we were going to go to Austin to record. And then as we were looking at the calendar, Sam said, where in Ohio are you guys based out of? And I told him, and he said, well, as it just so happens, we have some dates in your general neck of the woods. And we have a 5-day period where we're off and we're in Ohio. And he said, do you happen to know a good studio there? And I said, as a matter of fact, I do. I've a good friend of mine owns a gorgeous, gorgeous studio in Kent, Ohio. It's nicer than most of the places in Nashville I've been in. And it just worked out. Everything kind of fell together. Asleep at the Wheel ended up coming to us, which was pretty incredible. And by doing it that way, we had not just Ray and Sam, but we had all of the Wheel as well. Right. So we were able to bring in various members of the Wheel all
we
week
got the whole
long.
wheel.
We had the whole wheel. So, it all fell together. And sometimes, you need to kind of let things fall as they will. And, boy, it was. I'm just so glad everything worked out the way it did. This record really has turned into something special for us.
Yeah. And I see you got a few guests on the record. Buddy Miller and Jim Lauderdale and Marty Stewart. How did those guys get involved? Was that part of Ray Benson's bit, or was that your guys?
That was actually all me. I basically, we have been fortunate. I'm sure that Ray's involvement didn't hurt anything, but
right, sure.
These are all folks that we had a relationship with in some capacity. We've been on the Buddy and Jim show on Sirius XM, and I've done some shows with Jim. Done multiple shows with Raul Malo, and have stayed in touch with him over the years. And Marty Stewart, we did a show with in January of of 2022, right as we were finishing up the album, and we asked him if he would join us on the record, and he obliged. And it was we spent 2 hours with him in Sound Emporium Studios in Nashville, and it was an honor. He is everything you would want him to be, and then some. He's a total gentleman.
Very cool. So you've released about 4 songs so far to kind of get a taste of the record. With the record just about to be released, what song are you most anxious for people to hear that they haven't heard yet?
I can't wait for people to hear. There's two. I'm going to give you 2 of them. One
Sure,
is
go for it.
The title track, Stampede. It was written by our guitarist Brian Poston, who is just such an incredible talent, and I've seen him grow as a musician. He was been incredible since day one, since I've known him. But he keeps growing. He keeps just getting better and better. As amazing as he is now, I'm excited to see what we do for the next record. So right. I'm excited to hear for people to hear his instrumental, because it's a real showcase, and also features Dennis Ludiker, formerly of Asleep at the Wheel, and Mike Daly as well on there, steel guitar. So some great picking and playing all the way across on that one. And the next one I'm excited for people to hear is a beautiful song called Angel's Work. That was written by a dear friend of the band, a longtime collaborator by the name of Al Moss, pedal steel player from Northeastern Ohio. He literally is kind of our Obi-Wan Kenobi. We work with him on everything behind the scenes with the band, as far as shaping the music that we make. We even rehearse at his house still. He wrote this song and played it for me one day, and I was choked up, and I got tears in my eyes. I said, Al, we have to do that song. It's just a beautiful, touching song that says an angel's work is never done.
I said another prayer to you, 3rd one today, another like the other 2, a simple act of faith. Forgive me if my words intrude, I know that you've got things to do. Heaven knows no setting sun, an angel's work is never done.
Right. I think it's a message that I think people can take that song and put themselves into it, and it's a song that I think is open to interpretation, but it's so beautiful, so well written, that we were honored to get to record that. So I'm excited for people to hear those ones as well.
Kind of closes out the album. So do you think about how the album is going from A to B and track to track?
Yeah, here's how we make a record. This is how I think this is what has worked for us for the last 3 records. We go in with a set of songs that we think that we know we want to record. We record them. We kind of see what sticks. Especially with Bullseye and Stampede, we ended up cutting more songs than we needed. We cut a total of 16 songs for both albums, and we only put 12 out on both albums. So we have some stuff stored away in the archives. I kind of think when you do it that way, what ends up happening is that, the cream rises to the top, right? I almost feel these songs are in some weird way, they're kind of vying for your attention, and something about, a group of songs will kind of reveal itself to you. And that's exactly what happened with Bullseye. It's exactly what happened with Stampede. Are there other songs that we recorded that maybe could have been on the record? Yes. Would they have necessarily fit in this collection? I don't now. I think the answer is no. So and that's okay. Those songs will find their place. A matter of fact, there's a song on this record, Anywhere But Here, that we've been working on since before Quick Draw, and we've been trying to find an arrangement that we were happy with, and we just never quite got there. We finally got there. So a good song is a good song, and if you're willing to wrestle it to the ground, some of them come very easy, some of them don't. That doesn't make a song better or worse. But it's just it's nice when it finally comes together. Right.
Now, this may seem like an odd question, but how many are in the band? I've heard 4, 5, and 6 bandied about. So who are the other members of the band, and how many of them are there?
I can't tell you, Marty. It's hard to say.
Good.
No, currently 4 members of the band. Myself on guitar and lead vocals, my longtime partner in crime, Emily Bates, on harmony vocals, and she plays acoustic guitar live as well often. We've been singing together now for 20 years, and so literally celebrating 20 years this year. And then Brian Poston, of course, on lead guitar, and kind of our musical director. And then Kevin McManus has been with us for about a year now. Fantastic bass player and great harmony vocalist and just all around great guy. We're thrilled to have him as well. So that is the current official iteration of the band, I guess you could say. We also recently added a young drummer by the name of Mark Budo, who's really kicking butt, and we're having a great time with him as well. So, the band has changed a little bit over the years, not a lot, but has changed a little bit. And but right now, I feel like we are in a really great space with this group of musicians, and we're really excited about where 2023 is going to take us here.
Yeah. So did you do something recently at Graceland?
We did. We actually just a few days ago, we were at Graceland for the Ameripolitan Music Awards. Our friend Dale Watson puts those together. And boy, they really did a bang up job this year. It was really a nice event and great to see a lot of folks and old friends and new friends. And, it's just a whole weekend of music like this. It's the folks that color outside the lines in the country music world. Right. And, they paid tribute to Johnny Rodriguez. And of course, we saw our friend Chuck Mead, and Dale Watson was there, and James Inveld and Rosie Flores, as well as a lot of the up and comers, Sierra Farrell and Willie Carlisle. Yeah, just a really, really great weekend all across the board. We had an official showcase, and we were thrilled that we had some really positive feedback about that. Cool.
So the album comes out on Friday. You're playing at the Grand Ol Opry, then you're hitting the road. You ever been down to this part of the world?
Not yet, but boy, we would love to. It's a long flight, I've heard.
Well,
but yeah, we hope to get down that way. So
yeah, I was in Nashville for the Americana Fest last September and got to see the town for the first time, and it was very exciting. So
yeah, Americana Fest is a great event. We will definitely be here this year. We know that. And we've been in multiple Americana Fests. We've showcased, we've played some unofficial stuff. We've just been here in general to witness the festival. And that's another really great organization that, spotlights different music that doesn't always get a spotlight. So, we love being here for those.
Yeah. And so I'm just curious, finally, being from Akron, Ohio, which, is kind of rubber capital of the country, and where the Pretenders and all these weird bands kind of came from. How do you think you fit into that scene? Is there still a scene there? Because I remember Perubu and all those,
Oh yeah, Tin Huey. There was some, a lot of cool bands from that neck of the woods. Northeastern Ohio is interesting to me because, and I'm sure there are other places in the U.S. like this, but within a very short amount of time, radius. You've got Akron, Canton, Cleveland, Youngstown, and just on the other side of Youngstown, you've got Pittsburgh, and then just a little bit farther to the south, you have Columbus. We have a lot of major or mid-level markets, all within a spitting distance of each other, and somehow that has managed to breed a lot of talent, man. I mean, of course, all the bands you mentioned from Akron. But you've got even Tracy Thomas, Screamin' Jay Hawkins, and Trent Reznor from Cleveland. You've got Dave Grohl from out in Warren, Ohio, and Jerry Douglas. In Canton, you've got Macy Gray, Marilyn Manson. Boz Scaggs was born in Canton. David Allan Coe was born in Akron. So a lot of talent has come from this area. It is definitely not an area that is a hotbed of country music. I'll tell you that much. But, listen, here's the thing. As you said, people mostly think of the Pretenders, Devo, and the Black Keys. And knock on wood, we're hoping that we get to add our name to that list, too. So,
well, I got to say, when I was growing up in Western Pennsylvania in the 60s, I heard a lot of country music out on the farm there. So,
I would imagine so. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Ohio, I mean, country music is huge in Ohio and in a lot of places. It oftentimes tends to be more of the modern country stuff. And that's okay. I mean, while it's not necessarily what we do, and it's not something that we necessarily listen to all the time, we understand why people like it, certainly understand the importance of it. But, we're just going to continue trying to blaze trails and do our own thing and make the music that we love. And hopefully that connects with folks.